Gorgeous day. Good morning. Welcome back to GP Outdoors. Beautiful day here today. Really cold, but you kind of know that. When you get clear blue sunny skies in the middle of winter, it usually means it's really frosty outside. As you folks probably know, I read every single comment I've ever received on this channel. And every once in a while I'll go through and kind of take a look to see if there are different themes or different topics that are of importance to folks. And surprisingly, what I've learned after 2 years is that probably the most recurring theme or topic on this channel somehow revolves around safety. And I know I was a little surprised as well, but it's been an ongoing theme for 2 years now. And it, ranges from different types of comments, whether they're positive, supportive comments about, hey, great to see you're using PPE or personal protection equipment, to comments of, I think you're going overboard, you shouldn't be wearing a forestry helmet when you're splitting wood on a log splitter, to the classic, which has been the most longest on-running commentary about the fact that I use my hazard lights on the tractor. And trust me, I'm not casting any aspersions or opinions on people's different views on how much safety equipment or lack of safety equipment is necessary, or what our own personal choices are. I mean, we're all adults. We have the ability to choose for ourselves what we think is right or wrong, or how much is enough. And we're all different. So as the old saying, to each their own. One of the pieces of equipment that I was a little hesitant to use for about a year and a half was ear protection when I was using the tractor. I had so many subscribers and sincere comments, because I know you folks care, constantly saying, GP, you really should be using ear protection when you're driving that tractor. I got those comments for months and months and months, and you know me, I'm kind of stubborn. So of course I'd be like, no, I like to hear the tractor. I don't need ear protection. I'm okay. And then one night I was sitting around and I decided to Google a little bit about hearing loss, because I had so many comments about it. And sure enough, there are a ton of articles online from medical journals, medical associations, hospitals, doctors, etc., that talk about different causes of hearing loss. And what I found out is that one of the top 3 causes of hearing loss as you age or you get older is due to prolonged exposure to background noise. It's true. You can look it up. Now I wear hearing protection every time I turn that tractor on. So I wanted to thank all of you subscribers that kept at me for all those months after months, urging me to maybe not be so stubborn and take a look into it, because I'm really happy you did now. You'll also notice that I'm always wearing work boots, green patch work boots, in fact. Steel toe, steel shank. Never get on the tractor without them. Now, I'm not suggesting that everybody has to do that, because again, we're all individuals and we can make our own decisions. But I can assure you, they've saved my toes more than once. For example, this past summer, I was trying to remove the bucket off the front end loader and put the grapple on. And by all means, totally my careless error. That was the only reason for it. I pulled up to take the bucket off, pushed the joystick forward to drop the front end loader into float, but wasn't paying attention, and I actually never got it into float. In fact, what I did is I ended up putting a lot of down pressure on that front end loader. I jumped off the tractor, went to release the quick hitch levers, released the first one no problem, and when I tried to release the second lever, the front end loader arm immediately slammed down on top of my foot. And I mean it slammed down hard on my foot. So hard, in fact, that without a word of a lie, I could not pull my foot out from under it. It had pinned me so hard into the ground. The only reason I was able to get that foot out of there, after I went through the initial shock expecting a lot of pain but had no pain, was I unlaced my boot and pulled my foot out, hopped over on one foot, turned the tractor back on, lifted the loader arms, and grab my work boot out. Steel toes. But I have to tell you, after 2 years, the longest running recurring comment or set of comments revolves around the use of my hazard lights on this tractor. I've had so many folks that's left comments that said, great video, love the content, but man, turn off those hazard lights. There's no excuse for using them. You don't need them, and they're driving us nuts. Or comments around that nature. So I thought it might be helpful just to maybe provide a little bit of background, especially if you're a new subscriber and you're not aware of it. But up here in Ontario, when you take your tractor on a roadway or a concession road, any of these roads around here, the rural routes, you're required to have a few things by law. One, you need this hazard sign. Second thing, you've got to have your seatbelt on. You need some form of reflective tape, I believe. Now, if you've got a tractor and you don't ever leave your property, or maybe you spend 99% of your time on your property, you're probably not too worried about those things. However, as you know, I spend a large amount of my time down the road. Maybe 40–50% of the time I'm up here with the tractor. I'm either a couple of miles down the road to the west over at neighbor Bob's place, or I'm a mile down at Guy's the other way, or I'm 2.5 to 3 miles away over at Kirk's place, or Bill's place, or Alfred, Ben's. A bunch of different neighbors. So I'm on that road all the time. Now, it's not so much the point of getting caught by the local police and getting fined. It's a point of safety. If you live in a rural area, you probably know that most people use these back roads as little racetracks. They go screaming down these roads all the time, and they wind and they bend. And in fact, you may have noticed that there's a blind corner just before my driveway. So I always have to be extra careful, recognizing that I'm a slow-moving vehicle. I need to make sure that I'm visible. So you're probably thinking, okay, fair enough, GP, makes sense. But why are you using it on your driveway all the time? Why do you have your hazard lights on when you're mowing the grass or you're going up your driveway? And the reason for that is because it's not only my driveway. It's actually a right-of-way. And there are several other families or people that egress that driveway regularly. In addition to that, as you folks know, I get a lot of snowmobile and ATV traffic that finds its way down that driveway regularly and without notice. I also have a lot of the neighbors' kids that like to toboggan down the steep hill. That's how steep that hill is. So although I don't think I'm required by law to put my flashers on or my hazard lights, I think that generally speaking, the common sense that probably kind of carries forward to any environment or area where you've got a lot of traffic or you've got people that are unexpectedly coming through, especially snowmobiles screaming down through that little racetrack to get out onto the lake. And trust me, those young lads screaming down on their ATVs with a helmet on are not going to hear my tractor. They're going to see me long before they ever hear me. So I just think it makes sense to do what I can to make sure that I'm visible and I'm lawful. So you're probably wondering what I've been doing today. Well, sure enough, like so many other good comments and advice I get from you wonderful folks, I had a subscriber left me a message the other day, or a comment on a video, said he loved the carryall, enjoyed the video, and he said to me, but did you realize that when you're using that carryall, you're blocking all your taillights and your hazard lights and your lower reflectors? And you know what? He's right. Nice. Not anymore. So hey, as I said, at the end of the day, we're all different people. We have different appetites for risk, or, you know, some of us are more risk averse than others. I'm pretty risk averse. And hey, it doesn't take a lot to push a button to put on some hazard lights if it's going to help. Because at the end of the day, the way I look at it, I'm operating a piece of equipment that can seriously harm me or possibly some of the people I love. We all make our own choices. Okay, didn't take long. I think the old carryall is now road ready, which is great. Got my hazard sign up, got a flasher. Hopefully that'll do the trick, and I'm good to go. I hope you enjoyed it today. thanks so much for sticking around. And being that it's the beginning of a new year, I just want to take a moment out. Thank you all so much for your subscriptions and for all the comments I've received, the suggestions, the advice. It's helped me out a lot. I wanted to wish you and your families a wonderful, happy, and safe new year. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.